you know, I am that one in a million, that rare person that who got it, who I feel like was not supposed to get it, but I got it, and you know, I'm like overcoming it every single day. Guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Asia, and I am back with another video. And today, as you can tell from the thumbnail and the title, I'm going to be doing a story time. I never did a story time on my channel before, so this is the first time I'm doing this. And this story time is actually like a little personal. So, you know, if you're interested in finding out what this story time is about, stay tuned. Like this video, comment down below, subscribe to my channel, and we're just gonna get started. So, as you may already know, or some of you may not know, but I have an illness that is called cystic fibrosis. And I was diagnosed at, I want to say 9 years old. It was not very known back then. I mean, some people still doesn't even know what it is now. I honestly just tell people I have asthma, because like when people hear, oh, you have a disease, oh, you have an illness, like they turn their faces or whatever. So it's like, growing up, I was never really telling people I had it. It was just, oh, I have bad asthma, and that was it. So I'm gonna actually read from the internet what the definition is, so you can get the full aspect of it. Cystic fibrosis is an inherited threatening disorder that damages the lungs and the digestive system. It affects the cells that produce mucus, sweat, and digestive juices. It causes these juices to become thick, sticky, and then plugs up the tubes in your passageways. So, I mean, the mucus that is built up, it basically makes it hard for you to be able to breathe. So, that's why I said I had asthma, but obviously it's way worse than that. So, there's no cure for it. So, you know, it's kind of like cancer in a way. There's no cure. So like I said, I got diagnosed at 9. So at 9 years old, when they found out I had it, doctors didn't even want to believe that I had it, because it's not really found commonly in African Americans. It's more found in Caucasians. So the fact that, you know, I had it, they wanted me to do all this testing to make sure that I had it. So after going to like 5 specialists, you know, everybody said that I had it. So I had it, you know, which means in order for you to get it, both of your parents have to be carriers. So somewhere down the line on my mom's side, somewhere down the line on my dad's side, someone had it, which made them both carriers. So like everyone in my family, my siblings, they are all carriers because I have it. Now, if I have a kid, the chances are way higher for them to have it because I actually have it. But, I mean, my boyfriend, he doesn't have it. So, like, chances are 50-50. But if I got with someone who was a carrier, the chances are more likely. So, I actually have the illness. I've been going to doctors, like, quarterly growing up. It was like every 3 months going to get checkups because I had this, and it was so bad. Doctors told my parents, they didn't want to tell me, but they told my parents that I was not expected to make it past 12 years old. Like, mind you, I was already 9. I was not supposed to make it past 12. So the fact that I'm 27 right now, so the fact that I made it this far, like, God bless. But I wasn't supposed to make it past 12 years old. So, you know, when this time is coming, I'm in and out the hospital. I'm not really doing that well. I'm hooked up to IVs week at a time. When I am home, I take medicine daily, twice a day, sometimes 3 times a day. I'm hooked up to machines that take like an hour at a time for like 1 dose of medicine. So it was bad. It was bad. A lot of the things that, you know, other kids was doing, I couldn't do. I had to like watch what I was doing more carefully because I could have like passed out at any given time. So when, you know, my school found out that I had it, they were scared I was an athlete, you know, so it was like, they didn't really want me to do it. Then when it came to like, you know, look, I'm getting out of breath already. Yeah, so basically everybody knew I had asthma, but nobody knew I had this. So I kind of kept it a secret, like, because it's something like growing up, like, you don't want to tell people you have that. I don't like to be treated differently at all. Like when I'm in gym class, when I have, you know, sports, when I'm on a team, whatever, like I don't tell people. Now, obviously the athletic director has to know, or the nurse or whatever at that school has to know for emergency purposes. So it's on file, but nobody on the team usually knows. So, I work just as hard as anybody else. Like, I don't like that special treatment. Oh, you don't have to do this because of that. No, I don't need anybody feeling bad for me. I don't need anybody's pity. I've never been like that. I was going out for this team, and mind you, I had already made the team, but now I had to get a physical. But I was away from home. I wasn't at my regular doctor. So they had a doctor on site. Now I'm a little older or whatever. They had a doctor on site to do physicals for the team. So I went to that doctor. And when they asked you, like, do you have asthma? Do you have asthma or anything? You know, I said yes. And then I told them about the cystic fibrosis, and their eyes, like, lit up. They didn't know, like, what to expect, really, because, like I said, it's not really found common in people like me. And then they was asking me so many questions. It was like, is this the first time you're playing sports? And I'm like, no, I've been playing sports my whole life. And they're like, have you always been okay? And I'm like, yeah, I've actually been great. Like, my doctor always told me, like, after, like, doing a bunch of tests, and he realized, like, I guess it didn't affect me as much as it affected the next person, because I really feel like I wasn't supposed to have it. But things didn't affect me as much. So he was like, you know what? She could play sports. Let her play sports. So that's what I was doing. So when I was going to get these physicals, they was just so surprised. Like, they was like, you play sports and you don't need any type of assistance or anything? And I'm like, no, I'm fine. And they're like, oh. And then they look at me. People already look at me because I look young. Like, I don't look my age. I get it, whatever. But then they look at me and they're like, you know, you look really good for someone with cystic fibrosis. And then I'm just sitting there like, thanks. Like, I don't know how I'm supposed to take that. It was bad. When I was like younger, couldn't handle it myself. My mom was always there. That's when it was bad. I've done so many projects on this illness, like in health class or whatever. Like when you have to pick a disease, I always do myself. And when you have to write a case study, I'm my own case study, because like I'm living proof of it. Why do I have to research somebody else? So that's when a lot of people found out, when I would do, you know, myself as a case study. And then one of the questions would be like, do you know someone personally with this? And I'd be like, yes. And then they all ask who, and I'm like, me. And then everybody's looking at me like, what? So it's like, over the years, like, I got more comfortable with it. You can't just catch it from being around me. So it's like, okay, she has it, whatever. But yeah, I mean, a lot of my friends had asthma, so they were somewhat able to relate. Not really. Mine, like I said, mine is a little more severe than the next. There's no cure for it, so God forbid, but I can drop dead at any given moment. Like, I could be walking up the stairs, lose breath. This, honestly, right now, in this current time, during this pandemic, is probably the worst time for me, because I have it. And like, I wouldn't really say my immune system is weak, but you know, my lungs are weaker than most. So just like for the elderly, anybody that already has, you know, asthma, bronchitis, anything like that, like, it's harder for them during this time. So I don't get scared by it. And I feel like the reason I'm not scared because of this whole pandemic is because I've been living with this my whole life. And I feel like if God wanted me to be gone, it would have happened years ago, because like I said, I was supposed to be going 12, 13 years old, and here I am today able to tell this story. So, you know, I feel like I'm just blessed. I'm just gonna say that. I feel like I'm just blessed. I was one of the lucky ones. Do I have to take medication like I used to? No, but I always have my inhaler. Always, my inhaler is right there. It's always in my basketball bag when I go play sports or whatever, whether I have to use it or not. Lately, I haven't been able to. Not been able to. I haven't had to, which is good. I've been able to manage everything. But the medication that I used to have to take, that used to take hours at a time, I don't have to take that anymore. I don't go to the hospital no more. So it's actually been managed pretty well throughout the years. I guess because I've gotten older and I've been able to speak for myself, and they don't have to like guess what's going on, because I don't really know what the terms are at a young age. So it's like they would have to try to, figure out what's wrong with you. So I feel like now that I gotten older and I can manage it, this process have become like a lot easier for me. I promise you I don't have corona. Yeah, the process have become way easier for me. So, I'm not the type to live in fear. I don't feel like anything is wrong with me. I wake up every day blessed to wake up like any other person. But, I don't wake up in the hospital. I don't wake up having to take medication. I don't wake up, worrying about if something is going to go wrong. I do still, go to the doctor like everybody else. I go a little more frequently than others, just to make sure everything is still going right, because like I said, there's no cure. So anything can happen, but I'm just very careful. But if I can find... I actually still have the machine, but this machine is very heavy and very expensive. Thank God for insurance, because if I did not have insurance, the type of medicine that I had to take over the years, I probably would have been dead by now. I can find some pictures. I'm going to insert them here. And even if I can't find like actual personal pictures that I've had, I'll just insert like the type of medicine and like medication I used to take. Like, if you have asthma, you probably know what a nebulizer is. So, I used to use that as well. But as I said before, with cystic fibrosis, you get mucus that's stuck in your lungs. Like, I know it sounds disgusting, but you have mucus that gets stuck in your lungs and is very thick. So it's not passing through, the passageways clearly or whatever. So I used to have this thing, I forgot what it was called, but it was this little, thing you can hold in your hand, and it's like a circle and it's like padded. And you know how like you pat a baby's back or whatever to make them burp? So it was like that. So I used to get pat on the back, and basically it's trying to like thin the mucus that's in my lungs so I can breathe, if that makes sense. So then as I got older, that wasn't working anymore because I'm bigger. So I was given this big machine. That's the machine that I'm gonna insert. But I was given this big machine, and basically like it was a vest. I would wrap the vest around me. Then it would have like holes. So you would take the plastic tubes and stick them in the holes on the vest, tubes in those holes. And then you're gonna press the machine, and you press what level, and you press what time, how long. I usually did it for like 20 minutes at a time. And there's different levels, and it literally just shakes you. And I'm just sitting there every morning, every night, getting shook for like 20 minutes straight. And you know what? It felt good because it was like a massage in a way, but it was like you just look crazy. People used to walk in the house, and I'm just sitting here going like this, looking like I'm having a seizure. And they're like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah." Mind you, my whole voice is like vibrating. So I'm like, So it was like I had to do that for years, every single day, every morning, every night. So it was a hassle. So on top of that machine, I was taking the nebulizer that had different medications. So it had, the mask or the mouthpiece. It was bad. That's what I'm going to say. It was bad. It was really bad. They did not expect me to make it this far. I've been hospitalized, as I said, and my roommates, every time something happened, you had hundreds of nurses running in the room like this person was going down. Like, it was bad. So it's like I've seen different cases. Some people, like, it breaks their body down. Like with cancer over time, sometimes like it gets starting in up here, and then it just breaks your whole body down. It deteriorates everything. It breaks you apart. So it's kind of like that too. Like, it can break your body down, it can make you weak. There was times that you know, I was sleeping for days and they're like, what is wrong? Like, I was just tired. But they did say, you know, that can happen or whatever. I was so small, like, weight-wise. I mean, I'm still small now. For a 27-year-old, I'm not your average, you know, 27-year-old weight, height, whatever. I'm small. I look like a high schooler. It's okay. But I remember for the longest, like, I was 88 pounds, like 4'11" and 88 pounds. I was so small. And this was throughout high school. I didn't really grow until like college. My first year of college, I might have been like 5'1", 5'2". Then I grew a little more. But you know, after like 18, you're not really growing anymore. So right now I'm 5'5". I guess I'm the average height for a female, but I was small. And I could eat and eat and eat and eat and gain no weight whatsoever. Now, for me to gain weight now, like, it go to my stomach, if anything. Like, I'm not big, but if I gain weight, it's going to my stomach. It's not going anywhere else. So I just, you know, stopped trying, because me eating bad just to try to gain weight is really not doing anything. Matter of fact, I don't know anybody personally who has cystic fibrosis, other than, like, you know, when you go to the doctor and you see all the kids that have cystic fibrosis. I don't really know anybody personally that has it, so I can't really relate, and that's another reason why I would never talk about it. Everybody has asthma, so it's like, oh, you have asthma, I have asthma, so that was different. But I haven't come across anybody who has cystic fibrosis, anybody who's even a carrier of cystic fibrosis. So this was something that I just had to deal with. Like, I got comfortable with it simply because it's not going away. Like, no matter how good I feel today, tomorrow, whatever, I still have it, and anything can happen. So that's me, you know, that's my story time and how I had to deal with growing up with an illness. Today I could tell you I look fine, I feel fine. I'ma always have, you know, my inhaler on the side, you know, just to be sure, but I am good and I am blessed and I am thankful to still be alive today, and I hope to live many I hope to live many more years, because they say the average lifespan for someone with cystic fibrosis is till about 40 years old. The fact that I was even diagnosed with it, and I'm African American, I was at 1 in a million. Maybe I'll live past 40. So we are gonna just hope and pray, and I'm gonna keep playing my sports, and I'm gonna keep, you know, doing what I do, because the doctors have been telling me it's been working. So I'm just gonna keep, you know, doing me and living life. So if you have an illness or whatever, you know, it can be cancer, just regular asthma, bronchitis, lupus, anything that you have and you're dealing with, like, just find a way to cope with it, especially if there's no cure for it. You just gotta live with it, so you're gonna have to get used to it. I feel you. I know what it's like to live with something that you just gotta get used to. So I'm here for you guys, whoever has it. If you know somebody who has it, just pray for them. Don't treat them any different. That's how I feel. I never wanted anybody to treat me any different. So just, you know, be there for them. There's gonna be days that, you know, they may not be feeling up to do something. So, I mean, it's life. Like, I don't know. I've always been the type to, like, push myself to do something, but everybody's different. So that is my story time. I know I rambled a lot. I'll probably end up cutting a lot of stuff out, but that's just a little update, trying to get you guys to know me a little bit more. That was like a personal story that for years I would never tell anybody, but like I said, I'm more open with it. So if you guys like that, give this video a thumbs up. Comment below if you want more story times. Subscribe to your girl's channel. And I'll be back with another video.